Yo, what's up? Happy Year of the Dragon! I hope everybody is having a great 2024. I was trying to think what my first video of the year should be, and as I thought about it, it dawned upon me. With Honkai Star Rail version 2.0 coming up, I decided to compile a list of top characters you should have. Whether it be for new players or veterans, I thought I'd share my personal opinion.
Nobody cares.
But before we get into the list, I wanted to ask you guys something. Did you know my goal is 75 subscribers for 2024? If you guys enjoy this video, it'd be really awesome if you guys drop a like and subscribe.
Shut the fuck up!
And then if you don't, use a bitch.
Kono bangumi wa Goron no sponsor no tekyo de okurashimasu.
Disclosure before getting into it. It's going to be split between 4 stars and limited 5 stars only. So there will be no standard 5-star banner characters on this list. That's actually going to be a whole nother video where we're going to rank them all as a whole. And now, to kick us off, with everybody's favorite android. No, not that one. I'm talking about Yi, the judges of the Ten Lords Commission. Yi's playstyle really allows her to bypass many enemy defenses, which pairs nicely with her assassination fighting style. Yi's skill, Iniquity Obliteration, is a quantum damage single target attack that finishes off with AoE damage to neighboring enemies. Her talent, Karmic Perpetuation, allows her to gain stacks of karma, maxing out at 8 stacks. She gains these stacks for every time an ally unit reduces an enemy's toughness. Once she gains enough stacks, she will launch a follow-up attack to a single target. Divine Castigation launches a single target attack that deals more damage depending on how much toughness is depleted. This ultimate also ignores enemy toughness. So the higher your break effect stats, the more damage Yi's ult will deal. Yi is a really unique character who plays the role as a DPS and sub DPS. If you are lacking a quantum damage dealer, Yi is definitely a strong character to have on your team. Being that there are many enemy mobs that have quantum weakness, Yi is extremely reliable to have when comparing her to Chingcho. I really had to weigh the pros and cons between the two. When it comes down to it, Yi was just a more consistent unit to play. She has one of the coolest designs in the game, has a great color scheme, and was involved in one of the coolest cutscenes by far. Overall, great damage dealer and amazing with almost any team comp with the proper support. Next up, we have the Landau's youngest sibling, Lynx Landau. Despite Lynx's introverted nature, she is an adventurous snow plains explorer. Lynx is a quantum abundance type character with great healing and survival capabilities, befitting of her explorative nature. Lynx's playstyle revolves around her skill and ultimate that allows for your team's survival. Her skill, Salted Camping Cans, applies survival response to an ally, increasing their max HP. It is best to use this skill when you have a destruction or preservation character on your team due to their high survivability, because it will increase the enemy's aggro to that character, diverting the attention away from your more squishy units. Lynx's ultimate, Snowfield First Aid, cleanses all allies from a debuff or status ailment and restores their HP, making her great for bosses such as Kafka or Fantalia. For the longest, Natasha was my only abundance character, but when Lynx was released, it definitely boosted my team's survivability in high-level content such as Forgotten Hall or Pure Fiction. Having Lynx definitely frees up a slot for another abundance character on alternative teams when challenging Forgotten Hall or Pure Fiction. Not only is it easier to pull Lynx due to her being a 4-star, but anybody who completes stage 2 in Pure Fiction will get her as a reward as well. So there's definitely no excuse as to why you should not have Lynx. The next character I'm going to talk about is Yi's younger sister, Hana, another judge of the Ten Lords Commission. Hana represents interrogation out of the 4 duties of a judge. While she has become numb to most emotions, only when Yi is around that she is actually kind of a cupcake. Hana is a physical harmony type character whose playstyle involves boosting an ally's speed and attack. She also serves as a good pseudo battery as her skill allows allies to recover skill points. She is perfect for supporting your team and debuffing the enemies. Hana's skill, Samsara Locked, deals physical damage to a single target and applies burden to them. Every time an ally attacks an enemy, your team will recover a skill point. Once skill points have recovered twice, the burden effect will be dispelled. Hanya's ultimate 10 Lord's Decree, All Shall Obey, increases one of your allies' speed and attack for 2 turns, providing great rotation for characters like Zila or Argenti. Paired with her skill and ultimate, Hanya's talent will increase your team's damage to enemies that are inflicted with burden. Hanya is a great harmony support that really helps your allies deal damage while also increasing the damage taken by enemies. I love Hanya's design and her animations. And while she is awesome to have on your team, I am also hoping we get some more story with her and Shui Yi. The following character on this list, you know her, you love her, and the Silver Main Guard simp for her. Belobog's intelligence officer, Pelageya Sergeyevna. Or Pela for short. Pela is a nice nihility character who specializes in shredding your enemies apart. She may be cute on the outside, but her kit is pretty cold-hearted, for she freezes, dispels, and debuffs. Pela's skill, Frostbite, attacks one enemy dealing ice damage and removes a buff from them. The skill comes in handy when enemies decide they don't know how to act. Pela's ultimate Zone Suppression is an AoE attack that applies the exposed effect on your enemies. The enemy's defenses are decreased while they are exposed. It's best to use this ultimate in proper rotation with your attack buffers and DPS to deal the most damage to your enemies possible. Pela is such a quirky character and I love her analytical personality. In contrast to her personality, she is also the drummer for Serval's band, and her phone case features the guys from Tears of Themis, another Hoyoverse game. She is admirably cunning and it shows in her kit. At first glance, her design is simple, and it took me forever to realize that her stockings have measurement markings. Like, what is being measured exactly?
And perhaps the grown-ups among us could refrain from acting like children?
That being said, Pela is a really great character with great utility, and she works really well in slowing your enemies down. Alright, now I can't stress enough that I am not into furries. Okay, I've had my doubts, but when Ting Yun was first introduced, those doubts were completely eliminated. I think my heart skipped a beat when we first met her. Being a Foxian, I really love how her personality is kind of devious. She really gives off the Ara vibes. And I am all for it. Ting Yun is a lightning harmony type character who is one of the best, and if I am being honest, she is probably the best 4-star character out there. Ting Yun's playstyle makes her one of the best free-to-play offensive buffs, providing an attack boost and supplying energy to one of your allies. Ting Yun's skill, Soothing Melody, applies Benediction, which increases an ally's attack, and if the ally with Benediction attacks is a lightning character, they will deal additional lightning damage, making her extremely strong on teams with characters like Jinglu or Kafka. What makes Ting Yun so powerful of a support character lies within her ultimate, amidst the rejoicing clouds. Her ultimate regenerates a significant amount of energy to one of your allies, most likely being your main DPS, and boosts their attack for the next 3 turns. This is extremely useful to help your DPSs recycle their ultimates and deal a significant amount of damage. For example, Argenti, who has a 2-layer ultimate, can really benefit from Ting Yun's skill and ability. Ting Yun is universally on every hypercarry team due to her allowing your DPS characters to go rampant by constantly buffing their attacks and giving them energy to dish out their ultimates. Ting Yun is definitely one of my favorite characters and damn near broke when this happened.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
She may be gone, but Ting Yun had many memorable moments during our time on the Xianzhou Laofu. And even though they paid tribute to her, I still feel like her death was very ambiguous, and I would really like to have some closure on what happened with her. If you made it here, that means we are halfway through the video by now, so take a breather, grab some water, and we're headed right into the 5 stars. Kicking off our list of must-have 5 stars will be Haxor Bunny. Haxor Bunny is Bronya from an alternative cyberpunk-themed universe. She is a skilled hacker that sports a quick gunslinger style of gameplay. Her playstyle allows her to be an off-field ice support Valkyrie. Okay, joke's over. The character I was actually talking about is Silverwolf. Silverwolf is the Stellaron Hunter's hacker. Her hacking skills can be referred to as aether editing that allows her to manipulate reality. Her hacking skills are highly praised, for they are compared to Screwlims, who is regarded to have the best hacking skills in the universe. Silverwolf is a quantum type nihility character who utilizes her aether editing in her moveset to debuff enemies. Starting with Silverwolf's talent, awaiting system response, hacks her enemies to implant them with the bug. The enemy's attack, defense, or speed will be reduced depending on the type of bug implanted. Be sure to have some effect hit rate stats to have a higher chance of implanting a bug when Silverwolf attacks. Silverwolf's skill, Allow Changes, is her bread and butter. This attack can apply a weakness on the target based on a random ally's type. In addition to adding a type weakness, this skill also reduces the enemy's damage resistance to that applied type. This ability is such a game changer as it allows you to be more selfish with adding your preferred DPS to your team, or if you are just lacking damage dealing characters of a specific type. Silverwolf's ultimate user band is often utilized when incels overly simp or say outrageous comments to an attractive female streamer. Okay, please don't cancel me for that, it was a joke. Or was it? Anywho, Silverwolf's ultimate user band deals a good amount of quantum damage, but where its true power lies is in its defense reduction effect. Silverwolf is a much needed utility to add to your team, for she is literal hacks. Being able to debuff enemies consistently allows for confident team compositions when wanting to deal high damage and maintain survivability. Silverwolf's personality is reflective of how she views the universe. She is extremely nonchalant in her actions and casually overtakes Blade's phone. One of these days, I am hoping that her and Bronya will have an in-game interaction. Remember when I said I wasn't into furries? I am not into furries. Yeah, me neither. If I had to talk about a time when I had buyer's remorse, pulling Huwa was not one of them. Huwa is a Foxian girl that is a judge in training for the Ten Lords Commission. Although she is afraid of ghosts, it is her duty to catch them. She is considered cursed due to her tail being inhabited by a Heliobus ironically named Tail as well. Huwa is a wind type abundance character who has exceptional healing abilities. Not only is she a reliable healer, but her utility also provides offensive and energy support, allowing you to sweep through high level content with a peace of mind. Huwa's skill, Talisman Protection, heals and dispels one debuff from a single ally while healing allies that are next to them. Huwa's talent, Possession Ethereal Metaflow, allows her to gain Divine Provision for 2 turns after using her skill. While Divine Provision is active, when an ally uses their skill or ultimate, they recover a small portion of health. Characters who are under 50% of their health will also be healed when Divine Provision is active. So even if the character was not adjacent to a character healed by Huwa's skill, if they have less than half their health, they will receive some healing through Huwa's talent. In addition, Ethereal Metaflow's healing ability can also dispel a debuff from an ally who is healed through the effects of Divine Provision. Huwa's ultimate tail, Spiritual Domination, regenerates all allies' energy and increases their attack for 2 turns. This is really great when recycling ultimates for characters like Kafka and Argenti, or any DPS for that matter. Huwa's playstyle really allows for aggressive team compositions, enabling you to attack and even be rewarded HP for it. Huwa really turned the game into easy mode for me, as it allowed me to be a little more reckless with my gameplay. And by gameplay, I mean just clicking the fast forward and auto button. I pity Huwa due to her pessimism, for she always views herself in a negative light. After her companion quest and Tail form a similar bond to Naruto and Kurama, she retains her timid nature, but opens up more when talking to the Trailblazer and communicating with Shuiyi and Hana. Hopefully the next time we see Huwa, she is no longer in training and an official judge of the Ten Lords Commission. Now, it would be pretty cool if you could prevent your end by looking into the future, right? Well, that's exactly what the Master Diviner of the Divination Commission, Fu Xuan, is all about. With her third eye, she is able to predict the future and recollect the past. Her design just oozes divinity, staying true to her title as Master Diviner. She influences the Xianzhou Laofu based on her foresights, believing that they are for the greater good. Fu Xuan is a quantum type preservation character whose playstyle utilizes her ability to foresee impending threats, allowing her to ensure your team's survivability while also increasing their crit rate. Fu Xuan's skill, known by stars, shown by hearts, activates the Matrix of Prescience. While the Matrix is active, a portion of the damage received by an ally unit will be distributed to Fu Xuan, lasting for 3 turns. It is best to have high HP percentage stats when building Fu Xuan to mitigate the damage she endures to prevent her from falling. Fu Xuan's ultimate Wills of Many Morph to 1 is an AoE quantum attack that deals damage scaling from her max HP and gives her a trigger counter for HP restoration, 2 being the max. Fu Xuan's talent Bleak Breeds Bliss. By saying that back to back, Bleak Breeds Bliss. Fu Xuan's talent Bleak Breeds Bliss applies misfortune avoidance and will remain active so long Fu Xuan is not defeated. When Fu Xuan's HP falls below 50%, HP restoration will trigger, significantly restoring her health. Fu Xuan possesses great foresight, being able to view the entire battlefield to ensure the best scenarios for your team. She is by far the best tank in the game while being an extremely competent self-healer as well. Because her kit provides so much survivability, Fu Xuan makes it possible to run your team without a healer, allowing an open slot for a character for utility or another DPS. Fu Xuan is a natural-born leader who looks to succeed Jing Yuan as the next Arbiter General of the Laofu. In truth, she is probably hoping for Jing Yuan's resignation so that she can get a free Lightning Lord. I promise this is not a simplest, but when I first met Ron Mei, I was already down bad. She is number 81 of the Genius Society, and is one of the developers of the simulated universe alongside Screwlum and Steven. Ron Mei is detached from society and is considered a hermit genius by the IRS. I mean the IPC. Little is very known about her with the exception of her research and experiments pertaining to the origin of life. Ron Mei is an Ice-type Harmony character whose playstyle standardized modern team building for me. Just like Ting Yun, Ron Mei is an absolute staple. Her kit buffs your entire team's damage, speed, and break efficiency, all while being able to delay your enemies recovering from their stagger. Ron Mei's skill, String Sing Slow Swirls, casts Overtone to herself. While Ron Mei is imbued with Overtone, all allies' damage and weakness break efficiency is increased, allowing you to overwhelm your enemies. Ron Mei's talent, Somatotypical Helix, gives your team a speed buff while she is in the party. Additionally, when your ally's weakness breaks an enemy, Ron Mei will deal extra damage to those enemies. Ron Mei's ultimate, Petals to Stream, Repose and Dream, activates her domain expansion lasting for 2 turns. While the field is active, your team's all-type resistance penetration is increased and they apply a Thanato Plum Rebloom stack when attacking an enemy. Ron Mei is so stunning that while enemies are inflicted with the Thanato Plum Rebloom, their staggered phase is extended while pushing back their combat readiness. In addition to the delay, they also take additional break effect damage, which scales from Ron Mei's break effect stats. Ron Mei is a top tier universal support who is great by giving you an offensive advantage, buffing your team, and also provides amazing crowd control in delaying enemy recovery and slowing their actions down. Ron Mei has been an absolute game changer and I foresee her stock rising even higher with the upcoming 2.0 update. Although I find her trailblazing mission to be lacking, I enjoyed being her guinea pig nonetheless.
Being a healthy guinea pig that knows how to look after himself.
She is great at communication but hates socializing, which I find myself to be able to relate to. When we revisit the Genius Society in the future, I hope that we get to see Ron Mei return, for the simulated universe is always needing adjustments. My final must-have character in Honkai Star Rail is... drumroll.
I pulled a Chi-Chi.
Sorry, wrong universe. Finishing off this list is Jinglu. Once upon a time, Jinglu was Jing Yuan's mentor, teaching him the ways of the sword. At some point, she was struck by Mara and went insane, having an emotional clash against her former disciple Jing Yuan. After being defeated, she had traveled the galaxies looking for a solution to regain her sanity, where she claims to have found the answer with Luocha. Jinglu gives off a chilling dark aura, for she is an ice-type destruction character who can deal devastating AoE damage to enemies. On top of that, her moveset is extremely SP friendly, for her kit allows her to use her skill freely. Almost all of her traces further increase her crit rate and damage, allowing her to be arguably the best and easy to play DPS. We're starting off with Jinglu's talent, Crescent Transmigration, which activates whenever she gains 2 stacks of Sizgi, allowing her to enter the Spectral Transmigration state. These stacks are gained for whenever Jinglu deals damage to an enemy via her basic attack, skill, or ultimate. Additionally, using her technique Shine of Truth will also allow you to start the battle with 1 stack of Sizgi, enabling you to enter Spectral Transmigration quicker. When Jinglu enters this state, her combat readiness is immediately rotated, allowing her to attack again. Her attacks consume your team's HP, increasing her own damage output. Also, while Spectral Transmigration is active, Jinglu is able to hold up to 3 stacks of Sizgi. Jinglu can also extend her awakened state by using her ultimate to regain a stack of Sizgi. I want to explain Jinglu's talent first to showcase how it affects her skill. While her blindfold is still on, her skill is Transcendent Flash, which is just a single target attack that deals ice damage. When Jinglu is awakened, her skill transcends to Moon on Glacial River, which becomes an AoE ice damage flurry. While she is also awakened, using her skill does not consume skill points, allowing your support units to buff Jinglu, maximizing your damaged potential. Jinglu's ultimate Flora from Marrow Dream Flux is an AoE blast that deals a significant amount of ice damage, allowing you to nuke the field. Support teams were made for Jinglu. You want Jinglu in her Spectral Transmigration state the majority of the time, allowing you to delegate skill points for the rest of your team, so that you can better support Jinglu with damage and energy. With proper rotation, you can essentially sweep through most content with Jinglu's damage output. Her overwhelming pressure relieves worry from taking damage, where you don't have to worry about damage if your enemies are already dead. Jinglu is a tragic character in losing many of her friends, being branded as a traitor, and is constantly battling between sanity and succumbing to being Mara-struck. Jinglu's companion quest had us going down memory lane with her, recalling her time with the High Cloud Quintet, ending it with their reunion, where she clashes with Blade. Her reappearance and departure evidently causes Ting Yun emotional pain seeing all of his former friends against each other. Jinglu's name has long been wiped from the records of the Xianzhou. Her ties with her former nation severed makes you wonder where her story will go next. Maybe once we meet Yaoshi, we might see Jinglu return, for she wants to witness the fall of the abundance. You guys made it to the end. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope to have another one out for you much quicker the next time, as I am finding my workflow when editing footage, writing a script, and just brainstorming in general. What are you guys most excited for the next update? Who are your must-have characters in Honkai Star Rail? Comment them down below and share why. And with that, I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.
甘い夢が